People say our economic and political system is broken, but it isn't. The system is rigged. It generates increasing wealth for the already rich and powerful at the expense of the majority of people on this earth. Billionaires, corporations, and oligarchs don't measure failure in lives lost, houses flooded, communities destroyed, forests burned, or people locked into poverty. They measure success by their bank balance, by share prices, and by holidays in space. Where we see climate breakdown, poverty, and injustice, they see nothing but profit. The climate crisis is a crisis of justice. From the shackles of slavery to the gunboats of colonialism, from imperialist interventions to the neoliberal rigging of the global economy, in the last 40 years, the global north has extracted over $16 trillion from the global south. Every pound and dollar extracted in resources and in exploitation of human labour is cast in the foundations of skyscrapers, factories, and oil refineries from London to New York. The UK, the EU, and the US have been responsible for almost half of all carbon emissions, despite accounting for a little over 10% of the world's population. To tackle the climate crisis, we can't just cut carbon, we need to cut inequality by uprooting the systems of injustice. Corporations are squeezing enormous wealth from their workers by subjecting them to poverty wages, insecure hours, and unsafe working conditions. Carbon-intensive industrialised agriculture is pushing small-scale sustainable farmers from their land and destroying local environments and biodiversity. It is the relentless pursuit of profit for the few which is causing misery for the many, justifying the reckless burning of fossil fuels and pushing the planet to the point of no return. We cannot let that happen. We must keep temperature rises below 1.5 degrees. Now, as usual, the billionaires, corporations and oligarchs want to sacrifice the lives of those in the global south to have the poorest around the world pay for their excesses. We have to say no. Rich countries must do their fair share and reach real zero, not net zero, by 2030. We have to tax the rich and big business to release the trillions of dollars needed each year for a just transition for all, a transition which cuts carbon pollution while respecting the rights of affected communities. World leaders think they can hit climate targets, transition to renewable energies, and claim to be climate leaders by exploiting workers, displacing communities, and poisoning ecosystems abroad. But we can't mine our way out of the climate crisis, and we can't offshore climate destruction. Poverty, the climate crisis, inequality, and racism aren't accidental, they're political. The answer is people power. All across the world, from peasants sowing solidarity, workers fighting for a living wage, people resisting occupation, indigenous communities defending communal land, to climate activists taking to the streets. We are all coming together to challenge the system, uproot injustice, and fight for people and our planet. To fight for a global Green New Deal. Join us.